Do it.
Roger, roger.
It's unfair.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hey guys, how are you all doing today? So today, I've got a real interesting video for you. This was just said by George Lucas from Insight Editions, the companion book to the James Cameron story of science fiction series on AMC. When discussing his idea for the sequels, that means 7, 8, 9, this is what George had to say. The next 3 Star Wars films were going to get into a microbiotic world, but there's this world of creatures that operate differently than we do. I call them the Whills, and the Whills are the ones who actually control the universe. They feed off the Force. If I'd held on to the company, I could have done it, and then it would have been done. Of course, a lot of the fans would have hated it, just like they did Phantom Menace and everything, but at least the whole story from beginning to end would be told. So guys, there we have it, just as George always planned when he wrote A New Hope, which was originally supposed to be narrated from the ancient Whills themselves. We can now see that we were going to go into a deeper form of the Force itself, so not so much as midichlorians, because I know everyone's upset about that, but we don't really have to worry about that much, because in 7, 8, 9, according to George, he would have gone into the Whills themselves, which controlled the Force. Now, if you're new to the channel, you probably won't remember how much I've talked about these creatures in their own videos from years ago, but essentially George wrote the Whills as the Force itself. They wrote the Journal of the Whills, and they were the ones who taught Qui-Gon Jinn how to transcend into the Force as a Force ghost, who later taught Yoda, who taught Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then Luke. He originally was going to have Episode 4 narrated from their point of view, as if they were watching the old tapes of the Skywalker family. That's why it always happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So here's a little rundown on the Whills. Now, during Qui-Gon's lineage before his physical death by Darth Maul, he traveled to an ancient place to see the shaman of the Whills. One of their shamans was known to have discovered the secret of eternal consciousness, and later, Qui-Gon Jinn learned this very secret, allowing him to interact with the living realm after his death. Now, in the early drafts of Episode 4, A New Hope, George Lucas stated that originally, an old story was told in the Journal of the Whills, where he had thought Star Wars should be read by these highly intelligent, immortal beings known as the Whills, who essentially were the Force itself. Now, as I just said, he later threw this theory out and thought it would be more understandable for viewers if he just called them the Force and created this side story to pay homage to them through Qui-Gon's travels and ability to become a Force ghost. The Whills were a record of galactic knowledge, in a sense. The shaman of the Whills was first specifically mentioned in the screenplay for Episode 3. It's now in a deleted scene that featured the spirit of Qui-Gon communing with Yoda. In that scene, which was never filmed, Qui-Gon stated that eternal consciousness had only been accomplished by Shaman of the Whills. Now, a cut line from a later scene in the film also had Yoda saying that the path to eternal consciousness was a secret of the ancient order of the Whills. The idea was later scrapped, of course, and we got the Star Wars that we know and love today. However, for George to bring back the Whills is really cool, as he says. At least the whole story from beginning to end would have been told. I'm thinking he would have had the Whills reveal that they created Anakin when Plagueis, Palpatine's master, tried to influence the Force to create a negative entity by manipulation of midichlorians, in which the Force responded by creating the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker. It's a common misconception that people think Anakin Skywalker was created by Plagueis, but in fact, he was an answer to the Force itself from what Plagueis was trying to do. I, for one, would have really loved to have seen what George would have come up with and to see where he would have taken the franchise if it were all still in his hands, and as he says, if he still held on to the company. Let me know what you guys think of the sequels that we could have gotten from George. I really would have liked to have seen them and everything that would have happened to Luke following Return of the Jedi. I hope one day he will reveal all of his ideas to us. Thank you, George, for making this amazing story. We all love you, regardless what you think. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember,
The Force will be with you